Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another edition of Struggles for Survival. Lesson 2. Okay, obviously we need our mentor text. Okay, a pencil and a highlighter. So go ahead and grab those items and then let's get started. All right, our learning goals for today are: I can make connections to personal experiences, ideas and other texts, and society to build knowledge about a topic. All right, so today we're going to do our first read. It's called The Kelpie by Carolyn Alexander. So go ahead and turn to page 6 and 7 in your mentor text. Circle any difficult or unfamiliar words, and also be looking for the 3 words I have listed: sinister, disguised, pursuer. So as we read along, highlight or circle those words. Are you ready? The Kelpie. The Kelpie is a sinister, shape-shifting creature from Welsh folklore. Wales is one of the countries that make up the United Kingdom. Long ago in the country of Wales, there lived a young servant girl named Alice. Each day she drove her master's cattle down to the pond nearby and watched over them as they grazed. On one of these afternoons, a young man suddenly appeared by the pond. Alice waved, happy for the company of another cowherd or sheep boy. But as he approached, she saw he was far too well dressed and proper to be a shepherd. He wore shoes of exquisite leather, and his coat was made from the finest soft wool. The eyes looking at her were glistening above a sloping nose and perfectly straight and white teeth. He bowed. "Good afternoon, miss. What luck! My hair is in a tangle of knots after a long walk. Could you brush it and smooth it out?" His voice was warm and inviting. Alice couldn't resist agreeing. "I'll sit on the bench so you can reach the back of my head," said the man. So Alice walked around and positioned herself behind him on the bench. She started to brush his hair, but as she tried to pull out the brush, she saw it was full of strands of slimy pondweed, not hair. She froze. He was a Kelpie! She had heard of the water horses that disguise themselves as beautiful men and then tricked innocent folk into drowning. Here was one on the bench before her. There was no one to call to or to help her. Could she find a way to escape the situation? Looking down at the Kelpie, an idea occurred to her. "Gentle sir," she began, "your hair is truly unruly and knotted, but with a little time I think I can make it soft. Perhaps rest your eyes to pass the time." The young man smiled and closed his eyes contentedly. Hands shaking, Alice continued to brush until he began to snore. Then carefully she tied his hair in a knot around the bench and ran for home. As the house came into view, Alice heard heavy pounding behind her. The Kelpie had taken his horse form and he was sprinting after her. As he arrived at the front gate, she reached the front door and slammed it shut, the iron lock firm against her pursuer. She was safe and sound. The Kelpie shouted in fury and stormed away enraged. Okay, so our first word that we were looking for is sinister. Sinister is a person or something that is harmful or evil. Go ahead and write this down in your margin of your mentor text. The next word is disguised. Did you circle that one? Disguised is to hide your true identity. Circle that and write that down in your mentor text. And our last word is pursuer. And Pursuer, to chase and try to catch. Make sure you get that written down as well. All right. So let's talk about text connections. Our first one is text to self. It's a connection between the text and your life or experiences. So whatever you're reading, maybe it's in a book or a magazine, you can relate and go, oh, yes, I've had that life experience. Or maybe I know of somebody who's had that life experience. A text-to-text connection is a connection between the text and another text you've read. So, hey, maybe you're reading a book and you're like, hey, I remember that from this other book I read. You have a connection there. And a text-to-world is a connection between the text and events in the world. So maybe you're reading something, maybe it's a newspaper or a book, a magazine article, and it's related to something in the world, events in the world. So let's make a connection to the story on page 6. All right. So Alice waved, happy for the company of another cowherd or sheep boy. He was far too well dressed and proper to be a shepherd. Text to self. I know what it's like to be all alone and then see a friend. How many of you have had that experience before? Maybe you're like taking a walk, or you're riding a bike, or you're walking in a store, and all of a sudden there's your friend. Hey! That's text to self. I have made quick judgments about people. Yep. That's what he was far too well dressed and proper to be a shepherd. I've made judgments as well about people, like going, okay. This person, just by looking at that person, maybe you go, oh. Well, like in this case, he was far too well dressed. So he's not a shepherd because he's wearing too nice of clothing. All right, your turn. I want you to read page 7 and make a text-to-text connection. Okay? How is this folk tale similar to other texts I've read? We're going to get into a little bit deeper about folk tale later. Okay? The text reminds me of. So go ahead and pause our video and then reread page 7 and think about how this text reminds you of another text that maybe you've read. Go ahead. All right. Welcome back. So on page 7, we're making a text-to-text connection. She froze. He was a Kelpie. She had heard of the water horses that disguised themselves as beautiful men and then tricked innocent folk into drowning. Okay, maybe you've read other, and maybe some of you haven't, but a text-to-text connection would be that I've read other folk tales where evil creatures disguise themselves as humans. Can you think of any of those? Oops. How about Snow White? Right? Who is the evil person who disguises themselves as a human in Snow White? Yeah, you know. So there you go, boys and girls. Let's talk about our learning. Are you a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1? I can make connections to personal experiences, ideas in other texts, and society to build knowledge about a topic. Which one are you? Go ahead and write it up in your margin or on your page and I will see you tomorrow.